you know that there is a country where people rent sisters? Yeah, that's right. Hundreds of people are paying hundreds of dollars just to get sisters on rent here. What's happening? What is this place? And why are people renting sisters? In Tokyo, Japan, let us introduce you to Yuichi Ishii.
私の名前は石井雄一と言います。お姉さんをレンタルできるサービスを行っているファミリーロマンスという会社を経営しております。
Yuichi realized that there is something really strange going around him. The people who loved hanging out with him, some of his friends, and even some of his colleagues, somehow didn't want to anymore. They just stopped replying to his messages, and eventually, Yuichi lost all contact with them.
僕はすごく悩んでました。
He realized that his friends had become hikikomori, people who would rather be alone inside their rooms than outside with people. Turns out, this is pretty common in Japan. You see, in the Japanese culture, it's more important to fit in than it is to be unique. So if everyone around you wants to be an engineer, that's what you're expected to do.
社会に合わせて生きなければならない。
And that's the problem. Even though not everyone wants to be an engineer and not everyone wants to be married by the age of 28, they're scared to speak up. Because if they do, they would look like a failure in front of society and embarrass their families.
日本の社会は適合することができなければそれが家族にとってすごく恥ずべきことなんです。
So instead of facing the world, they lock themselves up in their rooms. They stay inside day in and day out without even going to a doctor for help.
約3年間引きこもっていました。
Today, more than 500,000 people in Japan are hikikomori. These people are locking themselves in their rooms for years and years, just so they don't have to face the pressure of society. So Yuichi decided to help. He figured that most people always feel better when they're with their friends. So why not give these people a friend? Or even better, why not give them a sister? So he created a company and hired tens of women and trained them to just talk to the hikikomori.
やっぱり引きこもりの方は人と会ってないんで、まず会話をするだけでもすごく緊張することだとは思っていたので、やっぱり会話ができることが当たり前って思わずに、まず言葉を交わして目は合わなくていいんですけど、そういう一つ一つの作業をゆっくり丁寧にやりながらできることを見つけていきました。
And somehow, this worked. They got over 300 people to leave their rooms and get out into the world. And they did it just by talking to them.
一緒に寄り添ってくれるというか、優しく笑顔で話を聞いてくれて、時には励ましてくれる、そんな本当のお姉さんのような存在として。
At the end of the day, Yuichi isn't a doctor or a therapist. He's just a guy who saw people who were alone and decided to give them company. Because sometimes that's all it takes to be happy.